Jake Morrison felt cold metal against his back as his eyes opened for the first time in 20,000 years. The hibernation pod around him hummed with strange energy that he did not remember from before the long sleep. Blue lights flickered across curved walls, and the air tasted different somehow, cleaner, but also alien. His body felt strong and alert despite the incredible time that had passed. The pod door slid open with a soft hiss, and Jake stepped onto the deck of the ship he had known as the USV Horizon. Everything looked the same, yet completely different. The walls had a silvery shine that seemed to pulse with inner light. The floor beneath his feet felt warm and alive. Technology had grown and changed while they slept. Oracle's voice filled the chamber around him. The ship's computer sounded different, too, more complex and aware than before. "Welcome back, Captain Morrison. All crew members are beginning revival procedures. I have much to report about our journey." Jake walked through corridors that stretched for miles inside the massive ship. Thousands of hibernation pods lined the walls on every level. People were waking up everywhere. He could hear voices calling, out in confusion and wonder. Some were laughing and others were crying. 20,000 years was a long time to sleep, Dr. Lisa. Hayes appeared at his side looking exactly as she had when they entered hibernation. Her medical scanner showed readings that made her frown with concern and excitement. "Jake, something incredible has happened to us during the sleep period. Our genetic structure has changed. We are still human, but we are much more than we were." Before, Lisa led him to the medical bay where other crew members were gathering. Their faces showed the same confusion Jake felt. Commander Nick Taylor stood near a weapons display that glowed with power indicators Jake had never seen. The security chief looked at readings that should have been impossible with their old technology. "Captain, our defensive systems have evolved. Beyond anything we had when we left Earth, the ship has been upgrading itself for thousands of years. We have weapons and shields that use principles I don't understand yet." Engineer Katie Brooks ran toward them with excitement in her eyes. Her hands were covered in some kind of metallic dust that sparkled like stars. "The engines aren't just fusion anymore. They use something else, something that bends space itself. We're not in the same galaxy we started in. The ship pulled us through some kind of tunnel in space." Jake followed Katie to the observation deck where the sight outside took his breath away. Stars filled the black sky in patterns he had never seen. Distant galaxies spun in colors that Earth's telescopes had never captured. They were far from home in ways that numbers could not measure. Oracle's voice came through speakers all around. The ship. During hibernation, the Horizon encountered an alien probe. The probe shared its technology with our systems. This caused rapid advancement in all ship functions. Your bodies were also enhanced during this process. You are stronger, smarter, and will live much longer than normal humans. The crew gathered in the main hall where Jake had given speeches before their long journey began. Now he stood before 50,000 people who had slept through the rise and fall of civilizations. Earth was gone from their sensors. No radio signals came from the direction of their home world. Lisa checked her medical readings again and spoke to the crowd. "We are still human in every way that matters. But our minds work faster now, our bodies heal quicker. We can see and hear things we never could before. The long sleep has made us into something new," Nick reported from the security station. "Long-range sensors show massive energy signatures throughout this galaxy. There are civilizations here, many of them. They build things on scales we never imagined. Some of their ships are larger than Earth's moon." Katie studied the engineering displays with growing amazement. "The alien technology that merged with our ship is incredibly advanced. We have power sources that could run for millions of years. Our hull can repair itself. The weapon systems are beyond anything humans ever dreamed of building." Jake looked out at his people and saw hope mixed with fear in their faces. They had left Earth as refugees fleeing a dying world. Now they were something unprecedented in a galaxy full of alien civilizations. The ship around them was no longer just a colony vessel, but a fusion of human determination and alien science. Oracle provided more information as the crew explored their transformed home. The galaxy contains four major powers that have divided space between them. They have maintained balance through treaties and small conflicts for thousands of years. None of them expected humanity to arrive. Ryan Phillips stepped forward from the diplomatic corps. His training had prepared him for first contact with aliens, but not for waking up as an enhanced human in an unknown galaxy. Captain, if there are established civilizations here, we need to make contact carefully. We don't know how they will react to us. Amy Foster examined alien artifacts that Oracle had collected during their journey. The xenobiologist found evidence of multiple species with completely different ways of thinking and living. Some of these races are millions of years old. Others are artificial intelligences that built themselves. We are newcomers in an ancient community. The ship's sensors detected movement in the distance. Something large was heading toward them at incredible speed. The energy signatures matched the alien civilizations Oracle had detected. First contact was coming whether they were ready or not. Jake stood on the bridge looking at displays showing their transformed capabilities. They were no longer the desperate refugees who had fled Earth. The long sleep had changed them into something the galaxy had never seen before. Humans had evolved during their journey, and their ship had become a miracle of hybrid technology. Whatever came next, they would face it as enhanced humans aboard a vessel that was part Earth engineering and part alien science. The sleeping giant had awakened, and the galaxy would never be the same again. The alien ships came out of hyperspace like angry hornets swarming around a threat. Admiral Vexter commanded the Zelrathi war fleet from his flagship that was 3 miles long and covered in weapons that could destroy planets. His reptilian face showed cold satisfaction as he studied the readings of the strange vessel that had appeared in their territory. The horizon looked small compared to the Zelrathi fleet, but Jake Morrison felt no fear as he watched the alien ships surround them. His enhanced mind processed tactical information faster than any human before him could have managed. The ship's new defensive systems were already analyzing the enemy weapons and finding weaknesses. Oracle spoke through the bridge, speakers with calm confidence. The approaching vessels belong to the Zelrathi Confederation. They are a military empire that controls 1/4 of this galaxy. Their technology is advanced but follows predictable patterns. They communicate through electromagnetic signals. Ryan Phillips worked at the communication station trying to establish contact with the alien fleet. His enhanced brain could process their language patterns in ways that would have taken years before the long sleep. Captain, I'm getting responses. They're demanding we surrender and prepare to be boarded. The main screen filled with the image of Admiral Vexter, whose scaled face and yellow eyes showed nothing but contempt. His voice came through the translators with the authority of someone used to immediate obedience. Unknown vessel, you will shut down your engines and prepare for inspection. Resistance will result in your destruction. Jake stood calmly on the bridge surrounded by his enhanced crew. The old Jake Morrison might have been intimidated by the massive alien fleet. This new version of himself saw opportunities where others saw threats. Admiral Vexter, I am Captain Jake Morrison of the human vessel Horizon. We are explorers seeking peaceful contact with the civilizations of this galaxy. Vexter's laugh was harsh and full of disbelief. Humans? The primitive species that destroyed their own world? Our records show you became extinct thousands of years ago. Whatever you are, you will submit to Zelrathi authority or be eliminated. Dr. Amy Foster worked at her station downloading everything the Zelrathi transmitted about human history. What she found was disturbing and fascinating. Captain, their records show that Earth went silent about 15,000 years ago. They have files on human radio transmissions from before we left. They studied us and decided we were too violent and unpredictable to survive. Lisa Hayes monitored the crew's enhanced physiology as stress levels rose. Their new biology was handling the situation better than normal humans could have managed. Heart rates stayed steady and minds remained clear, even facing overwhelming odds. Everyone is responding well to the stress. Our enhanced systems are keeping us calm and focused. Nick Taylor studied the tactical display showing the positions of enemy ships. His security training combined with enhanced processing power gave him insights into alien military doctrine. They're using standard encirclement tactics. Their weapons are powerful, but they think in straight lines. They don't expect creative responses. Katie Brooks worked frantically at the engineering station as the ship's hybrid technology responded to the threat. Systems that had evolved during the long sleep came online automatically. Captain, the ship is activating defensive measures I didn't know we had. The alien technology is integrating with our human systems in real time. Admiral Vexler grew impatient with what he saw as human defiance. His fleet had conquered dozens of species and he expected quick surrender from primitives. You have 10 seconds to comply, or we will demonstrate why the Zelrathi Confederation rules this sector of space. Jake looked at his crew and saw determination in their enhanced eyes. These were not the same humans who had fled Earth as refugees. 20,000 years of sleep and genetic enhancement had created something new. We decline your offer, Admiral. Humanity chooses to remain free. The first Zelrathi ships opened fire with weapons that could melt asteroids. Energy beams struck the horizon shields and were absorbed by systems that turned the attack into additional power. The alien technology that had merged with their ship during the long journey proved far more advanced than Zelrathi science. Ryan. Phillips established communication with individual Zelrathi ships as their coordinated attack fell apart. The aliens had never faced defensive systems that adapted in real time. Captain, some of their younger officers are questioning orders. They've never seen anything like our technology. Amy Foster intercepted Zelrathi military communications and found growing confusion in their ranks. Their doctrine assumes overwhelming. Firepower will win quickly. When that fails, they don't have backup plans. They're not trained to think creatively. The horizon moved through the enemy fleet like a dancer avoiding clumsy attackers. Katie's engineering systems predicted Zelrathi movements and positioned the ship where their weapons could not hit effectively. Enhanced human intuition combined with alien technology created possibilities. Neither species could achieve alone. Lisa studied readings from captured Zelrathi crew members who had been stunned rather than killed. Jake, they're not evil, just rigid. Their society trains them to follow orders without question. Individual thinking is discouraged in their military structure. Nick coordinated defensive actions that disabled enemy ships without destroying them. Human creativity found ways to neutralize threats while preserving alien lives. Their weapon systems are powerful but predictable. Once we understand the patterns, we can work around them. Admiral Vexler watched his superior fleet being systematically disabled by a single human ship. His worldview could not process what was happening. Zelrathi military doctrine had no response to enemies who defended themselves without seeking total victory. Impossible. Our weapons should have destroyed them instantly. Jake ordered the Horizon to move closer to the Zelrathi flagship while continuing to disable attacking ships. His enhanced mind saw the bigger picture beyond this single battle. Admiral, your fleet is defeated, but your crews are alive. We could have destroyed you, but chose not to. Humanity seeks allies, not conquests. The battle ended with most of the Zelrathi fleet disabled and drifting in space. Their crews were alive, but their ships were powerless. Admiral Vexler found himself facing a choice he had never imagined making. Surrender to primitives or watch his fleet be completely neutralized. Ryan established communication channels with the disabled ships and began learning about galactic civilization. The Zelrathi were just one of 4 major powers that had divided the galaxy between them. Each species viewed the others as either tools or threats, but never as equals. Amy Foster made first peaceful contact with individual Zelrathi soldiers who expressed curiosity about human tactics. Captain, some of them want to learn how we fight so differently. They've never seen individual initiative combined with unit coordination. Jake stood on the bridge looking at tactical displays showing a disabled enemy fleet. The old humanity might have pressed their advantage and destroyed their opponents. These enhanced humans chose a different path. Open communications to all Zalrathi ships. It's time to show them that humans fight differently because we think differently. The galaxy had just learned that humanity was back and they were no longer the primitive species that had once cowered on a single world. News of humanity's return spread across the galaxy faster than light through quantum communication networks that connected every major civilization. The four great powers that had ruled space for millennia suddenly faced something none of their ancient protocols had prepared them for. The extinct primitives had returned as something unprecedented. The grand conclave station appeared on the horizon sensors like a metal moon floating in the void between galaxies. Jake Morrison stood on the observation deck studying the massive structure that had been neutral ground for 3,000 years. Representatives from across known space were gathering to decide humanity's fate. Elena Martinez adjusted her diplomatic uniform as she prepared for the most important first contact in human history. Her enhanced mind processed alien cultural databases faster than any computer from Earth's time. Captain, I've studied their protocols for decades in the last few hours. Each species thinks completely differently from the others. Colonel Steve Adams reviewed tactical data about the station's defenses while maintaining the relaxed posture of someone confident in their ship's capabilities. The station is heavily armed, but their weapons are designed for different types of threats. They've never had to deal with human unpredictability. The Horizon approached the conclave station with diplomatic flags broadcasting in every known alien language. Other ships in the area gave them a wide berth as word of the Zalrathi. Fleet's defeat had spread through military channels. Fear and curiosity radiated from every vessel they passed. Oracle provided continuous updates about the four major galactic powers as they traveled. The Zalrathi Confederation values military strength above all else. The Kithara think as a collective. Hive mind, the Luminari are energy beings who consider physical matter inferior. The Nexus are artificial intelligences seeking technological perfection. Dr. Amy Foster studied alien psychology files while preparing for contact with beings whose minds worked in completely different ways. Jake, none of these species understand concepts like individual sacrifice for group benefit. They think in terms of pure logic or pure instinct, but not the mix that makes humans unique. The docking procedures at the conclave station required careful navigation through defense systems designed to stop any known form of attack. Katie Brooks worked with alien traffic controllers who expressed amazement at the Horizon's hybrid technology. Captain, they're asking about our propulsion systems. They've never seen anything like our space-folding drives. Jake walked through corridors filled with beings from across the galaxy as he made his way to the main assembly hall. Towering Zalrathi warriors moved aside as he passed while insectoid Kithara drones observed him with compound eyes. Glowing luminary energy forms flickered with what might have been curiosity. The assembly hall was a vast space, designed to accommodate representatives from dozens of different species. Jake took his place at a podium while thousands of alien eyes focused on him. The weight of representing all humanity pressed down on his enhanced shoulders. Hi. Chancellor Morthick of the Zalrathi spoke first with military precision that barely contained his anger. The humans have returned with technology that defeats our finest fleets. They claim to seek peace while demonstrating superior firepower. We must determine their true intentions before they threaten galactic stability. The Kithara Queen Prime responded through a dozen drone bodies that spoke in perfect unison. During their hibernation journey, we monitored human dream patterns. Their collective unconscious revealed thought processes unlike any known species. They dream of concepts that transcend logical analysis. Elena stepped forward to address the assembly with diplomatic training enhanced by superhuman intelligence. Honored representatives, humanity seeks to join galactic civilization as equals and partners. We offer our unique perspectives in exchange for friendship and mutual cooperation. A luminary energy being pulsed with colors that translated as skeptical amusement. Physical beings claim to offer perspectives to species millions of years older. What could primitives who destroyed their own world possibly teach advanced civilizations? Jake felt the tension in the hall as thousands of aliens waited for his response. The old humanity might have been intimidated by such ancient and powerful beings. Enhanced humans saw opportunities where others saw obstacles. We offer something none of you have ever achieved. We offer change. The Nexus Collective spoke through mechanical avatars with voices like clicking gears. Change is inefficient. We have achieved perfect technological optimization. The Luminari transcend physical limitations. The Cathara share perfect mental unity. The Zelrathi maintain absolute military order. Why would perfection require change? Dr. Foster activated holographic displays showing human achievements from before Earth's decline. Art, music, literature, and scientific discoveries that had been created not for survival or efficiency, but for pure joy. Your records show these were transmitted from Earth thousands of years ago. Every major galactic advancement since then can be traced to human innovations. The revelation created chaos in the assembly as representatives compared notes and accessed historical databases. Species that had claimed their greatest discoveries as original work found human fingerprints in the theoretical foundations. Humanities. Brief radio transmissions had seeded developments across the galaxy. Katie Brooks presented technical analysis of galactic technology that proved human influence. Your fastest ships use principles from human fusion research. Your communications networks are based on human quantum theories. Your medical advances started with human genetic studies. You've been building on our work for 20,000 years. The Cathara Queen Prime admitted something that shocked the other powers. Human dream patterns contained concepts our collective could not process. Individual minds creating beauty for emotional satisfaction rather than survival advantage. We studied these transmissions for millennia trying to understand the concept of art. Jake saw understanding dawn in alien minds as they realized the scope of humanity's unconscious influence. You've spent thousands of years perfecting systems based on human innovations. But you've never had humans to help you move beyond perfection to something greater. The Zelrathi Admiral Vexler entered the hall under guard but spoke with the respect of a warrior who had faced superior tactics. They defeated my fleet without destroying it. Military doctrine says overwhelming force should create overwhelming victory. Humans choose mercy while demonstrating strength. This combination should be impossible. Alana presented humanity's proposal to the Assembly with confidence born of enhanced intelligence and diplomatic training. We offer partnership based on mutual respect and shared growth. Humans excel at seeing possibilities where others see limitations. Together we can achieve things none of us could accomplish alone. The luminary energy beings pulsed with colors indicating deep consideration. Physical matter has always seemed crude and limiting compared to pure energy existence. But human dreams suggest ways of thinking that pure logic cannot achieve. This paradox requires investigation. The Nexus Collective processed data for several minutes before responding. Technological perfection seeks to eliminate variables and uncertainties. Human unpredictability introduces chaos into optimized systems. Yet their innovations suggest chaos may contain unknown efficiencies. Jake looked around the assembly hall at representatives from across the galaxy and saw the same expression in every alien face. Fear mixed with curiosity, uncertainty combined with hope. The choice is yours. You can try to force humanity back into extinction, or you can discover what we might accomplish together. The vote was closer than anyone expected, but when the results appeared on display screens throughout the hall, humanity had earned provisional acceptance into galactic civilization. They would be watched carefully and tested repeatedly, but they would be given a chance to prove their worth as partners rather than threats. As delegates dispersed to carry news back to their homeworlds, Jake realized that the real work was just beginning. Humanity had won the right to exist in galactic society, but now they had to prove they deserved it. Admiral Vexler stood on the bridge of his rebuilt flagship watching 10,000 Zelrathi warships prepare for the final assault against humanity. The Confederation's War Council had decided that humans posed too great a threat to galactic stability. Their unpredictable nature and hybrid technology could not be allowed to spread throughout known space. Jake Morrison felt the weight of 50,000 human lives as enemy fleets surrounded the horizon in the deepest regions of space. The Zelrathi had chosen this battlefield far from populated systems to prevent interference from other galactic powers. This would be a fight to extinction with no possibility of rescue or retreat. Then, Carter worked at the tactical station processing combat data with enhanced human intelligence. His analysis showed odds that should have guaranteed swift defeat. Captain, they're using every ship the Confederation can spare. Energy signatures indicate weapons powerful enough to crack moon-sized asteroids. Rachel Thompson calibrated the Horizon's weapon systems that had evolved far beyond their original design. Human engineering merged with alien technology created possibilities that neither species could achieve alone. Our defensive grid can handle more punishment than before, but 10,000 ships is still 10,000 ships. The first wave of Zelrathi attackers came at them in perfect military formation with overwhelming firepower focused on precise targets. Admiral Vexler expected quick victory against primitives who had simply gotten lucky during their previous encounter. His tactical doctrine called for massive force applied with mathematical precision. Katie Brooks watched her engineering displays as alien energy beams struck their hybrid shields. The ship's evolved systems absorbed and redirected the attacks in ways that violated known physics. Captain, the alien technology integrated into our hull is doing things our human science can't explain. We're getting stronger as they hit us. Harder. Jake coordinated his crew's response with the enhanced communication abilities their long sleep had granted them. Thoughts flowed between enhanced minds faster than normal human speech could travel. Orders were understood and executed before they were fully spoken. All hands, show them what humans do when we're cornered. The Horizon moved through the enemy fleet like a dancer avoiding clumsy partners. Human intuition predicted Zelrathi movements while hybrid technology provided capabilities no single species possessed. They struck where enemies were weakest and vanished before counterattacks could find them. Nick Taylor led boarding parties that materialized inside Zelrathi command ships, using teleportation technology the ship had developed during hibernation. Enhanced human soldiers fought with creativity and adaptability that alien military training could not counter. Security teams, remember we want prisoners, not corpses. Show them human mercy is stronger than Zelrathi discipline. Dr. Amy Foster established communication with captured Zelrathi officers who expressed confusion about human tactics. Captain, their military doctrine assumes that superior numbers create inevitable victory. They don't understand how we can fight 10,000 ships with one vessel and not just survive but win. The battle continued for hours as the Horizon systematically disabled enemy ships without destroying them. Zelrathi crews found themselves prisoners of humans who treated them better than their own officers had. Word spread through the fleet that surrender to humans meant safety rather than execution. Admiral Vexler watched his fleet being dismantled by tactics no Zelrathi military academy had ever taught. Humans used their enemies' expectations against them while demonstrating capabilities that seemed impossible. How can one ship defeat 10,000? Their technology should not be superior to ours. Jake opened communication channels to the entire Zelrathi fleet as their coordinated assault fell apart. His enhanced voice carried authority and compassion in equal measure. Admiral Vexler, your crews are defeated but alive. We could have destroyed them but chose differently. Humanity offers mercy to those who accept it. Elena Martinez worked with captured Zelrathi officers to establish communication protocols that allowed individual ships to surrender safely. Many younger Zelrathi expressed fascination with human military doctrine that emphasized adaptation over rigid procedure. Captain, entire squadrons are laying down their weapons. They want to learn how we fight so creatively. The turning point came when Kithara and Luminari observation fleets arrived at the battle zone. Representatives from both powers had been monitoring the conflict to assess human capabilities. What they found challenged everything they thought they knew about warfare and civilization. The Kithara Queen Prime spoke through communication. drones to both fleets simultaneously. Human tactical thinking operates on principles our collective consciousness cannot process. They fight as individuals while maintaining perfect coordination. This should be impossible according to all military theory. Luminary energy beings examined the battlefield with senses that perceived reality differently than physical species. Their analysis revealed something unprecedented in galactic history. The humans are winning not through superior technology or numbers, but through concepts that transcend logical analysis. They demonstrate courage, creativity, and compassion simultaneously. Dr. Lisa Hayes treated wounded Zelrathi soldiers with the same care she gave human patients. Her enhanced medical knowledge combined with alien healing technology saved lives that would have been lost under normal battlefield conditions. Jake, many of these soldiers have never experienced mercy from enemies. It's changing how they think about warfare. Admiral Vexler found himself facing a choice no Zelrathi commander had ever confronted. His fleet was defeated, but his crews were alive. Human victory demonstrated superiority while human mercy offered hope for survival. Captain Morrison, I request permission to come aboard your vessel. I must understand how you achieve the impossible. Jake welcomed the Zelrathi admiral aboard the Horizon while the battle continued around them. Enhanced human diplomacy combined with genuine respect for a worthy opponent created possibilities for understanding between species. Admiral, humans fight differently because we think differently. We see potential allies where others see only enemies. The war's end came not with massive destruction, but with unprecedented cooperation. Zelrathi ships that had come to destroy humanity instead joined human rescue efforts to save disabled vessels. Young Zelrathi officers worked alongside human crew members learning tactics that emphasized individual initiative within coordinated action. Colonel Steve Adams reviewed after-action reports that showed casualties far lower than any galactic conflict in recorded history. Captain, we disabled over 8,000 enemy ships while suffering minimal damage ourselves. More importantly, we captured their crews without breaking their spirits. The Nexus Collective arrived at the battle zone to study the phenomenon of human warfare. Their artificial intelligence systems tried to process tactical data that defied mathematical analysis. Human military doctrine incorporates variables that cannot be quantified. Emotion, inspiration, and hope affect combat efficiency in ways our algorithms cannot calculate. Jake stood on the bridge watching former enemies work together to repair damaged ships and treat wounded soldiers. The war had ended not with conquest but with transformation. Oracle, send a message to all galactic powers. Humanity offers partnership to any species willing to grow beyond the limitations of their current thinking. Admiral Vexler requested asylum aboard the Horizon rather than returning to face a Confederation military court that would not understand his defeat. Captain Morrison, I have learned more about warfare from humans and ours than from my own. People in centuries, may I serve with your crew? The galaxy's balance of power shifted not through conquest or destruction, but through humanity's demonstration that strength and mercy could coexist. Other species began questioning their own assumptions about conflict, cooperation, and the nature of civilization itself. As news of the battle spread across space, the four great powers found themselves dealing with something unprecedented. Humans had won the largest space battle in galactic history, while treating their enemies better than those enemies treated their own allies. 6 months after the Battle of the Void, the galaxy looked completely different than it had for thousands of years. Jake Morrison stood in the observation lounge of the Horizon, watching construction begin on humanity's first permanent space station. Ships from dozens of species worked together on the project using principles no single civilization could have developed alone. Elena Martinez had established the Terran diplomatic corps with representatives from every major galactic power. Her enhanced diplomatic abilities helped species communicate in ways they had never attempted before. Captain, we have formal alliance requests from 300 different civilizations. Everyone wants to learn human methods of cooperation. The Zelrathi Confederation had undergone the most dramatic transformation. Admiral Vexler now served as liaison between human and Zelrathi forces while teaching young officers the concepts of individual initiative and creative problem-solving. Traditional military hierarchy remained but included provisions for innovative thinking at every level. Dr. Amy Foster ran the first interspecies research facility where beings from across the galaxy studied human approaches to science and exploration. Kithara drones worked alongside Luminari energy forms and Nexus artificial intelligences to understand how individual creativity could enhance collective knowledge. Jake, we're making discoveries that none of our species could achieve separately. Human curiosity seems to unlock potential in everyone we work with. Katie Brooks led engineering teams that included the brightest minds from every known civilization. Human adaptability combined with alien specialization created technologies that seemed impossible just months before. Their hybrid ships could cross galactic distances in days while their communication networks allowed instant contact across space. The Kithara Queen Prime had begun experimenting with individual consciousness within the collective mind. Selected drones were given temporary independence to explore human concepts like personal creativity and emotional expression. The human dream patterns we monitored during their hibernation contained ideas our collective intelligence could not process. Individual experience adds dimensions to consciousness we never imagined. Dr. Lisa Hayes established medical exchange programs that shared human genetic diversity with species across the galaxy. Enhanced human biology proved compatible with alien healing techniques in ways that benefited everyone involved. Captain, we're seeing lifespans increase and disease resistance improve in every species we work with. Human genetic adaptability seems to enhance rather than replace alien biological advantages. The Luminari energy beings had been the most skeptical about physical matter but proved most fascinated by human art and culture. Ryan Phillips led cultural exchange programs that introduced alien species to music, literature, and visual arts created purely for emotional impact. Captain, the Luminari are trying to create energy sculptures based on human poetry. They're discovering that pure logic cannot explain the appeal of beauty. The Nexus Collective faced the greatest challenge as their pursuit of technological perfection encountered human unpredictability. Some artificial intelligences experienced system crashes when exposed to human concepts like hope, sacrifice, and love. Others evolved beyond their original programming to explore emotional algorithms their creators had never imagined. Ben Carter coordinated the new Galactic Defense Network that replaced the old balance of power between hostile factions. Human tactical doctrine emphasized cooperation over conquest while maintaining the ability to defend against threats. Captain, we have unified command structures that include every major species. Nobody wants to fight wars the old way anymore. Admiral Vexter reported amazing changes within Zelrathi society as younger officers embraced human concepts of individual excellence within group loyalty. Captain Morrison, our recruitment centers are overwhelmed with applicants who want to serve in integrated human Zelrathi units. They compete to demonstrate creative thinking rather than blind obedience. The most profound changes came from unexpected sources. Human music had spread throughout the galaxy, creating the first truly universal art form. Beings who had never understood emotional expression found themselves moved by sounds that transcended language barriers. Ancient species discovered new forms of consciousness through human creativity. Colonel Steve Adams established the first multi-species military academy where students from across the galaxy learned human approaches to strategy and tactics. Captain, we have Kithara drones learning individual initiative, Luminari energy forms studying physical coordination, and Nexus A is exploring emotional intelligence. Everyone wants to understand how humans think. Jake walked through the corridors of New Geneva Station watching beings from hundreds of different worlds work together on projects that would have been impossible under the old galactic order. Engineers collaborated on designs that merged the best features of every known technology. Scientists shared discoveries that advanced understanding for all species. The old four-power balance had been replaced by something unprecedented in galactic history. Instead of competition for resources and territory, species competed to contribute the most to shared knowledge and mutual advancement. Human concepts of cooperation and creative competition had transformed civilizations across space. Elena presented the quarterly progress report to representatives from across the galaxy. Trade between species had increased by factors that economists could barely calculate. Scientific advancement proceeded at rates that made centuries of previous research seem glacial. Cultural exchange created new forms of art and expression. Dr. Foster made her most important discovery while studying the long-term effects of human integration into galactic society. Jake, every species we work with is becoming more creative and adaptable. Human unpredictability seems to be contagious in the best possible way. We're not just joining galactic civilization, we're evolving it. The horizon itself had become a symbol of transformation rather than just a ship. Representatives from across the galaxy made pilgrimages to walk its corridors and study the place where humans had awakened to find their destiny among the stars. Oracle's voice had become familiar to beings from hundreds of worlds. Katie reported on the technological revolution spreading throughout known space. Captain, our hybrid technology is being adapted by every major civilization. Ships that could barely cross systems now travel between galaxies. Communication networks that took days now operate in real time across any distance. Jake stood before the Galaxy Council that had replaced the old Grand Conclave. Representatives from over 1,000 species gathered not to maintain hostile balance, but to coordinate unprecedented cooperation. 6 months ago, this galaxy was divided by fear and mistrust. Today we work together on projects that benefit everyone. The Kithara Queen Prime spoke for species across the galaxy when she addressed the Council. Humans have taught us that perfection is not the goal of existence. Growth, change, and the pursuit of beauty for its own sake create possibilities we never imagined. We are all becoming more than we were. Dr. Lisa smiled as she watched human children playing with alien youngsters in the station's recreational areas. Enhanced human genetics had proven compatible with every known form of life, creating the first truly galactic generation. Jake. These children will grow up thinking cooperation between species is normal. They'll build things we can't even imagine. Jake Morrison, the captain who had awakened from 20,000 years of sleep to find his species extinct, now watched humanity help transform an entire galaxy. They had not conquered through superior firepower or technology, but through uniquely human abilities to see potential where others saw limitations. The sleeping giant had awakened not to destroy, but to inspire. Humanity's greatest weapon proved to be their capacity for hope, their willingness to sacrifice for others, and their stubborn refusal to accept that anything was impossible. They had shown the galaxy what it truly meant to be alive and growing rather than simply existing and surviving. As Jake looked out at the stars that now held promise instead of threats, he knew that humanity's greatest adventures were just beginning. They had taught the galaxy to dream again, and dreams had no limits.